Good news. There's a hot new version of your favorite software library. Less great news. It's loaded with parasites.
And then, of course, the other big news is you've got worms. So, yeah.
So another
Folks,
Shai Hulud attack. For those of you who don't know what a worm is a sort of virus or attack or whatever you want to call it that is self-replicating in that it worms its way through your computer and other computers and spreads like f***ing wildfire. So what happened? We woke up on, I don't remember what day it was, like Tuesday or something.
It's been a long few days for a lot of people. Actually.
Yeah, a very, very popular set of JavaScript libraries and TypeScript libraries called the TanStack. TanStack, which I've used, wonderful. So much better than all the other
I've heard
React
lots of
libraries.
good things about it. Never had
great.
the opportunity to use it.
It's excellent. I've only used it a little bit, but like I had to make a change to a code base that was using it. I'd never used it before. I was able to make that change so quickly because it was so like profoundly obvious how it works, how simple the change was. It was great. Anyways.
It's popular for a reason.
Yeah, it's popular for a reason. Some attackers got in there. I can't remember exactly how it worked. It was probably another...
It was cache poisoning on GitHub, and then they sidewound their way. And I mean, like, again, this is
and it was another pre-post install hook attack, which seems to be the way it goes these days. But so the crazy thing about it, there's a few crazy things about this story. The attack itself was, the usual shit, but it worked its way. I think by the afternoon, it was already into the Python ecosystem, that's crazy because it's jumping across. It's jumping across languages now. And I think this is unconfirmed, but later that day, Ruby Gems shut down all new signups and was dealing with some other hot madness, and that seemed too coincidental for me to not believe that it had something to do with this. So anyways, this thing was spreading across languages. And what it was doing was the usual thing where it was like installing either on a developer computer, on any machine, and it was trying to harvest.
Any machine it could. Any machine it could get its little tendrils, its little wormy teeth into, burrowing into the soft, juicy bits.
And it was harvesting. Tokens and secrets and passwords and whatever it could get its hands on.
I'm hungry for credentials. I'm hungry for wallets.
And sending them off to wherever it should. But the coolest thing, cool if it didn't happen to you, was that this thing had what you would call a dead man switch installed.
Yeah, this is pretty sweet.
You gotta respect him. You gotta respect him for this one.
Also, Dead Man Switch just sounds cool.
Yeah, so what that is it installed another script on any machine it infected, depending on if it was Mac OS but I know how to look for it on Mac OS. I'm not sure if the Linux implementation did this too. But it set up a background process that would run this script over and over. And what the script did was first it would harvest the GitHub token, send that off, and then it would use the credentials on the machine to continually ping the GitHub API to make sure that token was still valid. And if you went and revoked that token, this script would get a 404 for that token and immediately return RF user directory, which for those of you who don't know, that is the delete files command on your computer for your entire user directory.
But let me tell you, Fuzz, why I appreciate that.
Go for it.
Well, they didn't remove the whole system. So, they're just like, they were like, hey, you can still use your computer. You don't get any files,
unless you were running it as root.
But root is in a root. But root's not like in the root of the actual file system, right?
That's a good question, actually. Well,
I don't think so. I think it was returning /root. I think.
Yeah, but if you're running as root, does the system when you reference tilde, does it reference the root folder?
I think it's /root. I don't think it's the actual slash.
Okay.
I don't think it's slash. I don't think.
I'm not 100% sure either. My Linux skills are not up to date or my Mac OS skills. But either way, yeah, they left you some files.
Oh yeah, yeah. They left,
left
you
you some
some.
pieces.
They left you some temp files.
Some pieces to pick up your life.
Yeah, the worms are worming their way through the internet, causing all sorts of death and destruction. It makes me. It's just more fear and anxiety being injected into the entire industry of making software. It's astonishing. And we'll get to that. We'll kind of close out with talking about anxiety. But yeah, this is a major contributor. Like, I'm completely rethinking my relationship. You know, it used to be that it's like, oh, here's a new tool. Interesting. I'll just throw it in there and check it out. And then now it's like, oh, guess what? That interesting new library that you wanted to test out has stolen your life and ruined all the things and propagated
I'm not
itself.
even like, yeah, I'm there, but I'm also, I mean, we've talked about this. It's like, I'm like, fuck, I got to get off all the things and like,
oh, what things?
Make
Like,
a
what do you mean?
firewall in my own home and like make it, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, don't
Oh,
connect
you're
anything
going.
to anything.
Oh, that's
right
true.
now.
So Ian has
I'm
gone
getting
a little
the full
maybe.
Doom prepper. Like,
Ian's become essentially like the internet savvy equivalent of a Doom prepper. Which is just like what you can't see behind the cabinet. It's filled with cans of beans and tomatoes.
that's what that whole thing is. It's not a,
yeah,
not
it's
a Murphy bed. It's not a Murphy bed. It's just food.
It's just beans and tomatoes. Why his kids are always being like, why only beans and tomatoes, Papa? And he's like, it's nutritionally dense, you little pieces of shit. Oh, he's a great father though. Yeah, so wrapping that up. Yeah, just more chaos, more security chaos roiling through the systems. This, however, has also really, to me, this is less something that is new and more latent failure in our independency management that is now really being effectively exploited. I think the tooling, I don't know whether it's the AI. I mean, the AI has tooling to exploit security. It's obvious that this is a huge accelerator for security exploits, and for kind of like, for that aspect of the craft, the dark side of the craft. But it's also, this has always been here. It's just that we've been too slow, or it's been, there's been enough friction. There's been enough friction to kind of slow us down from this being a real problem. Things are accelerating, and I want it to stop. So be careful out there, folks. I mean, run your tests in a container, far away. Get a dedicated laptop.
Everything.
Get a dedicated laptop in a Faraday cage.
Yeah, that's right. Air gap.
Install your
Air gap
node
everything.
package.
Air gap it all.
I do like the idea of, like, you connect to the hard line, you download your node package, and then air gap everything. Faraday cage. You're stripped naked. You're just sitting on the floor with a laptop.
You never know.
Like,
You never know.
You never know.
Clothes.
You never know. It could be, yeah. Your clothes are wired up with RFID tags. It's already inside you. We've traced the call. It's inside your sweatshirt.